For Christmas, I got a fidget spinner. And so did Corey. We're fidget spinner bros. Let's go. Woo! Fidget spinner tricks. And welcome to Ask MandRproductions number 18. This is the series where I answer your questions that you guys comment on last week's video. So if you guys have a question for next week's video, leave it in the comments section below and it might get chosen to be answered. If you guys enjoyed the video, leave a like on it and subscribe if you're new to the channel. During this video, I will be talking Last Jedi spoilers. Those will be at the back end of the episode, and I will remind you when I'm about to talk about them that I'm about to talk about Last Jedi spoilers so that you don't get the movie spoiled if you haven't seen Last Jedi. But it's been out for a couple weeks now, so I decided this is the episode when I'm going to start talking about it. Let's get started. Michael says, one question I've been wondering, do you display the sets on your shelf with the figs in or out? I actually keep my figures in bags like this. I don't actually keep my figures on the shelf. I actually keep them in these bags in a bin. I think that this is the best way to store your minifigures because it keeps them clean, it keeps them dust free, so whenever you do want to use them, they're all nice and shiny still. You know, they still look new after 10 years. That's the best part. So I would definitely keep them in plastic bags if I was you guys. This is just how I do it. If you guys do it somewhat differently, that's fine too, but I keep them in my plastic bags because if I put them out on the shelves, they'll take up a lot of space, and more importantly, they'll get all dusty and nasty, and minifigures are hard to get undusty, and they get kind of weird after a few years of being dusty, so I would say stay away from that. Keep them in a bag, keep them, you know, nice and clean. I mean, if you want to display them, that's on you. I'm just saying your minifigures might degrade a little bit more over time. The Well Boy says, hi Ryan, I love your videos. Well, thank you. And he says, would you buy Leppin if Lego went out of business? Nexter says, why do you think LEGO is making battle packs with two great minifigures into horrible minifigures? Now, while I do agree some of the recent battle packs have been like this, I feel like a lot of the battle packs recently have also been really good with 4 solid minifigures. We look at the Death Troopers with Stormtrooper battle pack. That's an amazing set. I think that the Resistance battle packs are pretty good too. If you like the Resistance Troopers, you're getting 4 of basically the same thing, which is nice. However, I do feel like some of the First Order battle packs do include a couple of bad figures with those black officers. I feel like those are just terrible. The ones with, you know, the helmet, the crew members, the officer members, whatever. I think that they're just really bad figures, and I don't really like them in battle packs. However, other than that, the battle packs have been great. We got the Bounty Hunter battle pack. We got the First Order battle pack with the Flame Trooper. They also had 2 regular troopers. That was really good. So we've had a lot of good battle packs. We've also had a few bad ones, and I feel like we look too much at the bad and not enough at the good. So I do understand your point of view. However, I kind of disagree that LEGO does this a lot. I feel like it only happens every, you know, 1 in every 4 battle packs is like this. Free Build Production says, hey Ryan, love your videos. Thank you. My question is, what would be your ideal battle pack in terms of minifigures, number of minifigures, the build, and the price? As far as the price goes, I think between $10 and $15 is a fair price for a battle pack. I think $15 for the one I'm about to talk about is definitely fair. 2 Galactic Marines with 2 501st Troopers, so 4 minifigures total would be just awesome. Galactic Marines, of course, LEGO has never made, so I think those would be a really cool new minifigure to get. Of course, we had 501st Troopers a few years ago, and those would be really cool to return. As far as the build goes, a mini AT-RT would be awesome, much like the one we had in like the 2010 Turbo Tank, or something like that. Some type of walker is fine. So that's what my ideal battle pack would be. I would love to get those 501st Troopers in a battle pack, and Galactic Marines, of course, are welcome. I would love those so much, so that's my ideal battle pack. Hopefully it happens in the future. There's no real way to know, but God, that's like my #1 wish for this year. The Gamer says, has anything ever fallen off your shelf? Corey, has anything ever fallen off my shelf? I think that's a yes. William says, hello Ryan, I would like to ask, how do you deal with dust on your LEGO sets? Now, personally, the way I dust my LEGO sets and my shelves, and I do have a lot of LEGO sets and shelves, so it is hard for me to keep up. I try to do it at least once a month, but usually it's like once every 3 months. But, you know, I use a sock, I use an old sock, you know, an old baseball sock, whatever I can use, you know. I like to use socks for dusting. I think it's really easy for me. However, I have heard that a paintbrush is really good for dusting too, especially getting in between the Lego pieces, like the Lego, the bumps, the studs, whatever, on the actual like plates of a Lego set. So I think a paintbrush works really well, and for me personally, I just use a sock, and especially good for, you know, wiping down your shelves is the sock. The paintbrush only really comes in handy when you're trying to get in the finer areas of the Lego set, so I would definitely recommend using either or a combination of both as far as dusting your Lego sets goes. Are you trying to shoot me?
I killed him. This is now Ask Corey, not Ryan.
Alright, Corey, this question's for you. Patrick says, BB-8 or R2-D2?
BB-8!
BB-8 it is. I think R2-D2 is an awesome character. However, BB-8 has just been really awesome in episodes 7 and 8. So I really like BB-8 too, and I really like R2-D2. I'm not going to pick one. Corey said BB-8, so there's your answer. Alexander Hamilton says, I want to know what I should buy, the R2 Island Training and TIE Silencer Microfighter Double Pack, or the $80 TIE Silencer, and this is a hard question. So I would say that if you have $80, definitely get the TIE Silencer. I think it's a great set for $80, or wait for it to go on sale. You can get it for like $65. I think the TIE Silencer, though, is a great set. However, the Microfighter Dual Pack is really good, too, with the A-Wing and the TIE Silencer, and the R2 Island Training set is a really nice set, too. So I don't think you can go wrong either way. I would say if you have the $80 to spend, get the bigger set. However, if you don't, get the two smaller ones. Those are perfectly fine as well. James Arts Bricks UK says, which is worse, General Grievous Combat Speeder or the Hyena Droid Bomber? And don't get me wrong, I think General Grievous Combat Speeder is absolutely terrible. However, the Hyena Droid Bomber is in a league of its own. Cold. Anyway, yeah, the Hyena Droid Bomber is just an absolutely terrible set in my opinion. It's just one of those sets that for some reason I've always hated and always will hate, and there's nothing that can change my mind. It's something that will never get remade, and hopefully it doesn't get remade at least. And the General Grievous Combat Speeder, I think at least presents an okay model. I just felt like the Hyena Droid, even though it's overpriced, however, I just felt like the Hyena Droid Bomber was just bad in general. So I would pick the Hyena Droid Bomber as the worst set of those two. Which is better, Attack of the Clones or the Phantom Menace? Oh man, this is a tough one. Attack of the Clones was bad. The Phantom Menace was bad. If I had to watch one of them, I would probably watch the Phantom Menace. Attack of the Clones, they had that forced love story between Anakin and Padme. And I actually recently watched the reviews by Plinkett of both movies, and he tore them down and made them both sound terrible. However, I think the Phantom Menace is the way to go if you really have to pick one to watch. It has a little bit better action, I feel like. A little bit less of that crazy CGI going on with all the lightsaber fights and just stupid stuff that doesn't make sense. So I would pick the Phantom Menace if I had to watch one of them. RO Exorcism says, would you like a UCS ATSC? That sounds like a great idea, RO Exorcism. The only problem is in 2006, LEGO already did this. And in fact, I actually would really like one so bad that I actually already went and got one. I actually got it when it came out in 2006, so I've had it for a long time. It's already right there. You guys can see it, the UCS ATSD. It is a set. You might not have known, but it's a UCS set already. And if you meant to ask if I wanted a remake, the answer for that is probably no. I think it's good as it is, and I think there's a lot more UCS sets that LEGO should do instead. Shunters Galore says, 1, what is the worst lightsaber battle out of all the movies / TV shows from Star Wars? I would say that the Yoda versus Count Dooku one in episode 2 was pretty bad. It just didn't make any sense. Yoda's supposed to be small and diminutive. I just really didn't like that battle. Yoda's just flying around. It kind of took away from the character that Yoda was, at least to me. Second, he says, what is the worst UCS set? And it can't be Battle of Hoth. Well, darn, you took that away from me. I'll just go with the 2016 UCS Death Star because it was a terrible remake and I didn't like it. So probably that one. However, I actually think it's an okay set. I think a lot of people actually really like that set. I think it's a great play set. I would probably go with worst UCS set as being the UCS, either Naboo Starfighter because it's so small or the original X-Wing because it's just so weird looking compared to the new one. I felt like the design of the original one was really bad. So I'd probably say the original UCS X-Wing or the Naboo Starfighter as the worst UCS sets ever. Tara says, hey M&R, is there any set that you regret buying or getting? I would say a set that I regret getting is the General Grievous Combat Speeder. This hunk of junk right here costs $30. It's an absolutely terrible set. Do not buy it for $30. I mean, if you find it on sale for $15, I would say that's fine, but $30 is a complete ripoff, and I definitely regret paying that much for this set. It's just so bad. It's so bad, and I can't really say anything other than that. It's just terrible. Alright guys, here's your warning. This is the part where I start talking about Last Jedi spoilers, so if you haven't seen the movie yet, I would suggest you click off now, unless you just don't care. Goodbye, Corey. Yes, that means he hasn't seen it. Bradley Zimmerman says, would you want a UCS version of Snoke's Star Destroyer? I would love one. Either that or the one at the very beginning where they drop the bombs into. I don't care either way. I think they're both really cool. I think that, I'd do either. LEGO has so much they can do from The Last Jedi as far as Star Destroyers go, and I feel like the problem is that they already have a First Order Star Destroyer out, that they might be a little bit scared to have more than one Star Destroyer type set available at once. However, I hope that they do bring one out maybe next summer or next winter, who knows. Injustice 2 says, did you cringe when Leia floated back to the spaceship? Cough, cough, I did. Yeah, I was a little bit out of it at that point. I was like, oh my god, what are they doing? Why is this a thing? She should be dead. But unfortunately, she's just like, and then like force pulls herself back. Like, I didn't like that at all. That was one of the few scenes that I really didn't like, and I felt like they should have just ended her character there. But, I mean, everyone else on the bridge died except for her, so I don't get it. But, oh well. I think she played a pretty good character throughout the movie. I think they could have done without the scene of her coming back to life, though. One Shot Gaming, what do you think about Snoke's death? Was it good or bad? I think it was surprising. I was sitting there in the movie the first time, you know, the first screening, whatever, and when they killed him, I was like, huh, that's over now. So, yeah, I was just like, that's it. That's Snoke. He's done. He's gone. That was just really interesting to me. It was just gone. And that's kind of how I felt about it. I don't think it was good or bad particularly yet. I think it was cool to see Kylo Ren do something like that, something so powerful, if you will. Maybe it was what I've seen is people saying a way of showing that he is more powerful than Snoke, or becoming more powerful than Snoke, because he was able to do that and trick him in that way. So maybe that's part of it. I don't know. I don't think it was good or bad particularly, depending on how the movies play out, Episode 9. So we'll see how that happens. But I think it was a surprising death, to be sure. Matthew Garcia says, do you think they should make that casino scene in Star Wars The Last Jedi as well? Would you like to see the space horses in Lego form? Now, the casino, like anything from that casino planet, called Canto Bight, by the way, would be really cool. I would love to see some of the figures from it. Of course, we could get the DJ minifigure, which I actually already have the polybag of. I got it early. I don't really know what they could do with it. I think the police speeder, the Canto Bight police speeder, is a cool set that they could make. Other than that, I don't really know what else they would make. Of course, they could make the casino, but I don't think Lego would do that because a casino is not for kids, I guess. As far as the space horses go, unless they actually made them like one big piece, I don't really think it would work out of being brick built. I think it would just look weird. So I would rather them just not bother with the space horses in Lego form. Martin the Beast says, where did the heavy Scout Walker appear in the movie? It didn't. Some people say that it appeared on crate carrying that big laser cannon. However, the leg design was similar. That was definitely not the First Order Walker. It was like a bunch of them. It definitely wasn't the First Order Heavy Scout Walker, so I would say it definitely wasn't in the movie. Nobody has confirmed it being in the movie, so I would say it wasn't. Maybe it was in the very, very far background of some scene, but it definitely wasn't on crate. It definitely was not on crate, so it was a little bit weird that it wasn't in the movie. However, Lego does get the concept art for this stuff like a year in advance, so it doesn't surprise me that something didn't show up in the movie. I think we had this happen with The Force Awakens as well, with Kylo Ren's command shuttle, where the color was just completely off and it was missing some features. So I can definitely see that Lego has not, it might not be Lego's fault, it might be Disney's fault for sending Lego something and not saying, hey, this isn't going to end up in the movie, so they wouldn't, make it. But maybe it was just too late at that point, who knows. But it wasn't in the movie. I didn't see it. I've seen the movie twice and just haven't seen it. BattleBuzz Gaming 23 says, would you like a Snoke's throne room set? Oh yes, I would love one. There's actually been some murmurs about it, not particularly rumors, but I've heard some possibilities. And my idea for it is a couple Praetorian guards, of course Rey, General Hux, and Kylo Ren, and then of course Snoke with the ability to have him cut in half, and then I've heard a rumor of it being able to like force lift Rey, so maybe that would work too. So I think it would be a really cool set for like $70, maybe 50 or 60 would be better depending on the size of it, but I think it'd be really cool. And the last question from Ray King Gaming and Lego Productions. He says, what did you think of all the twists in The Last Jedi? Some people didn't like them. I personally love the twists. I like them too. I liked that Snoke died. I didn't really like when Leia came back. I didn't really like the love story between Rose and Finn. I thought Finn was dead. I had accepted it as I was sitting there that Finn was going to die on this speeder bike, crashing into this thing and saving everybody's butt. I liked that. I was ready for that. I was like, okay, rest in peace, Finn, say your prayers. But he lived. I think his role in Episode 9 should be bigger as opposed to a side plot. I think Luke dying was surprising. I thought he was going to live. However, I really liked the way they set up his death. I liked that. I liked the idea of him being like a force vision of Kylo Ren and everybody, or himself, or whatever, a force projection, I think they call it, and fighting Kylo Ren like that. I think that was really cool. So for the most part, I like the twists other than Leia living and maybe Finn living. Maybe I didn't like that. I definitely didn't like when Finn and Rose kissed. So I felt like that was a little, I was like, don't do that. No. But I kind of, the second time I went to see the movie, I wanted to go, ew, right in the theater when it happened. But, yeah, I didn't do that. That is all for this week's Ask MandRproductions episode, guys. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like on the video. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And, hey, if you guys have a question for next week, leave in the comments section below. I'll be answering them. You guys can leave me anything you want, and I'll pick through the questions later this week. So, thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.